Todd Blackledge, Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Scott Van Pelt. The Atlantic Coast Conference men is a league desperate to do something significant on the big stage on the football side of things, and it would help if one of the Florida schools could reassert itself. Maybe it's Florida State, and Seminole fans get real salty when you bring this up. This is a fact. In the last decade, they haven't had a single season where they've lost fewer than 3 games. Herbie, are they overvalued as a top 5 team?
I think last year they were overvalued. I think a lot of people wanted them to come back to be the old Florida State. When they lost to Oklahoma, they never seemed to recover from that. This year in 2012, I think it's justified. Their defense will be as good as there is in the country. The offense led by E.J. Manuel has plenty of skill around him now, a better offensive line with more experience. I think the pieces are in place for the Noles, especially in the ACC, to make a magical run.
Yeah, I think they're ready to do it this year. I still have questions about their offensive line. They've got to play with more consistency. They're still pretty young. And they've got some tricky away games. You know, they go to South Florida, they go to North Carolina State, they go to Miami, and then an early November meeting up in Blacksburg with Virginia Tech.
Last time we saw Clemson, fellas, they had 70 dropped on their head. It seemed like it could have been worse if West Virginia wanted to keep going. This year for Dabo Swinney's guys, 8 wins, 10 wins, Todd, which is more likely?
I think it might be more likely to have 8 wins this year, and here's why. I think a couple reasons. Number one, offensively, they still got great skill coming back. Taj Boyd was spectacular the first 8 games, forced things a little bit down the stretch. But defenses have had a year to watch that offense, to study what Chad Morris likes to do as the offensive coordinator. They'll defend Clemson, I think, a little bit better this year. And speaking of defense, that's the biggest question you have with Clemson. I mean, Brent Venables is in as the new coordinator, but they still have some issues on defense.
Yeah, they're going to be more consistent on defense.
Herbie, if there's anything that would prevent Virginia Tech from potentially being a double-digit win squad, what would it be?
I think the offense. I think a lot of us are anxious to see who's going to be able to fill in around Logan Thomas. We know that he's one of the biggest, strongest quarterbacks in the ACC. Their defense will be outstanding this year, but who's going to replace David Wilson? Who are the receivers going to be? And who's going to step up front to provide that, typical Virginia Tech offensive line? So there's some questions on offense, but at the end of the day, it's Frank Beamer. He always finds a way to get that team ready to go.
And they've been a fixture in the ACC championship game. Prediction time, guys. Who meets for the ACC championship and who prevails?
Well, Florida State and Virginia Tech play in November in Blacksburg. I think they'll play again in the championship game, and I think Florida State will win.
I think Florida State obviously is going to have a great year. I think they'll get there. If North Carolina were eligible to get there, I would think the Tar Heels are a team to look out for, but I'll agree. I think Virginia Tech and Florida State, I think Florida State wins it.
And whoever wins, ACC fans are hoping can improve upon the dismal 2-13 record in the BCS. The Basketball League, football trying to do something to change the perception.